Hey, I'm James from Smoking Dead Barbecue, and this is supposed to turn my fire pit into a pizza oven. So maybe as you can tell, we love pizza around here, and I am not looking to replace my La Piazza Piccolo oven or the Dojo that I use on my Kamado Joe. What I am looking for is pizza on the road. So I was originally excited last year when Solo Stove sent me their Pi pizza oven, as I thought this would solve the ability of being able to make pizza on the road. But as I discovered and shared in a couple of videos, when I downsized to a smaller propane tank, since I don't carry 20-pound tanks with me, I wasn't able to achieve the high temperatures needed for amazing pizza. And it's really not that much different when you're going with wood. Not only do you need a good supply of wood, and many of the national parks that we go to and visit, you can't bring outside wood. So you either have to sneak this in and hope you don't get caught, or find an abundant supply of dehydrated wood at each campsite that you go to. But this burns very quickly and also is still not able to achieve the high temperatures needed for our absolute best pizzas. And then the third issue really comes down to space. So we take our Bonfire with us along with the cooking hub, a cast iron grate along with griddle, since we've done bacon and eggs, broiled a lobster, cooked pasta, seared steaks, a whole bunch of things. It's been incredibly useful, but space, as I mentioned, is at a premium in our vehicle or our RV camper. And so the idea of taking a Bonfire along with all that gear and a dedicated pizza oven that's really a bit of a one-trick pony and has those other limitations doesn't make that much sense. But introduce the Solo Stove Fire Pie. So Solo Stove has sent me their latest gadget to test out, which turns our Bonfire Solo Stove fire pit into a pizza oven. So this might solve the space. Whether or not it solves the best pizza on the road, or maybe that'll just be a limitation of camping, we're gonna find out. So without further ado, let's get it out of the box and set it up for our first pizza pie cook. All right, I'll take you fast forward. I'm not expecting too much assembly or parts for today's cook, but we will have a pizza stone that we're going to want to get heat soaking right away, and then I'll fill you in on the game plan for our pizza. So taking a quick glance at the instructions, the only thing that's not really clear there is if I need to install and use the included legs, or if I have the Bonfire cooking hub, if that will provide the support. If I can get away with, again, less weight and less stuff, that will be ideal. So let's go take a test fit and see if we can set our Solo Stove Pie right on top of the Bonfire ring, or if I'm gonna need to remove the Bonfire ring and use these recommended legs. Then, according to the instructions, we'll get our pizza stone in and give this 30 to 45 minutes to preheat, which will be more than enough time to show you the pizza that we're gonna make for today. So I've removed my heat deflector. Let's check this out for fitment. Place in our pizza stone. Let that come up to temperature. So our dough, I'll put a chapter after the video if you haven't seen this. This is Vito's recipe, and I often make the full recipe and then freeze what's left over. So I just removed this from the freezer, left it on the counter. So now it's nice and pliable and we are ready to get to work. So let's start stretching this out. And if you have seen that, by all means, just go ahead and skip that chapter so you're not seeing the same thing over again. I'm using the smaller pizza peel that Solo Stove provided, as last time I learned using my own pizza peel that it didn't fit the base of the Solo Stove Pie. I don't know if that's the same here or not with the Fire Pie, but I don't want to figure that out and be juggling our pizza while recording, so I've just gone with the one that came in the Ultimate Fire Pie kit. I'll just mention again the utility of that, having some extra dough balls frozen for moments like this where kids maybe decide last minute that they want to have a bit of a pizza. When friends come over, it's not any big deal to whip this up. All you need is a couple hours on the counter and you are good to go. And if you planned ahead, you could leave it in the refrigerator overnight like Vito shows in a couple of his videos. I'm just put the basil down below. I'm going to put some salami on top, try and protect those from burning, and I've cubed up some mozzarella. Just off camera, before I added the sauce, I added a few extra splits of hardwood, which is a cooking grade wood that I normally use in my pizza oven behind me. So that's, again, we're not going to get anything that's come from a farm that's maybe used pesticides or anything like that. I would want to do the same thing if I took this camping, make sure I had good wood supply to be able to cook our pizza. I think we are ready to go directly from here. over to our raging fire. Whoops, nearly forgot, sorry Vito. A little bit of olive oil. Perfect. Now we're ready.
Non più tra I farfalloni amoroso, notte giorno di torno girano, delle belle turbando al riposo, Narcisetto a dolcino d'amor. Delle belle turbando al riposo, Narcisetto a dolcino d'amor. Non più avrai questi bei panacchini, quel cappello leggero galante, quella chioma, quell'aria brillante, quel vermiglio d'onesco color, quel vermiglio d'onesco color. Non più avrai quei panacchini, quel cappello.
The kit solo stove sent me not only included high heat gloves, but also this infrared thermometer. Whew, says high 1,000 degrees. Whew, 930 degrees. So we are definitely hot. Speaking of those high heat gloves, I'm gonna want to put the ones I've got open. I'm using my old ones. Grab our pizza, slide it in. All right, moment of truth. Well, that was fast. Almost no sooner did we get it in and I needed to get it out or we were going to be completely burnt. Perhaps more concerning though for me is the color. This is starting to look like eerily similar to what I did with my dojo using wood, where we're getting too much wood burning smoke, if you will. And perhaps maybe this wasn't on the website. Maybe this is why Solo Stove said that the Bonfire cooking hub is not compatible and we need some extra height clearance. I'm not sure. That's something I'll check after. I put it on and it was already hot, so I couldn't change things, change our setup after I installed it. It's done well for sort of teacupping our pepperonis or salami really quickly. The bottom, looks good. It's really just the color of this cheese and that black that has me really nervous, but let's find out. Moment of truth. Please don't be bad. I can't eat another one like that last one was. Cheers. Well, it's not bad like the last one. I'll give it another taste. I actually don't know why it took on this dark color. It tastes great. So not amazing, but not terrible. You know what, for our first fire where I used the Bonfire hub, which it says is not supported, but I couldn't figure out why, since it sits on there just perfectly. Maybe this is a little bit too low and it's not venting properly in order to get rid of some of that smoke. Maybe I added too much wood. I put 4 splits of pizza oven mix wood in right before and it's still raging away like an inferno. And maybe this wood needs to be burning a little longer, or I need to let the coals die down to a cooler temperature and we're just not getting as much smoke as you do when you add fresh wood. But this is promising. We were able to cook it properly quick, like a pizza oven, where it was seconds. I couldn't even really say anything, and immediately it was clear I needed to get it out of the oven and over to our table for presentation. So speed was there. I think from a packaging perspective, it comes with an including case and cover, that this is going to be a little bit more practical than carrying 2 Bonfire size bundles. If this is able to fit in our Bonfire, I'll test it once it's cool. Along with that carrying case, it might be a little bit more practical, and that we don't need to necessarily have a bunch of propane tanks and other things like that we need to carry with us. So this is promising. I'm going to give it another chance in a future video. Let me know if you'd like to see something like the fire pie versus the Solo Stove pie versus my dojo or the pizza oven, and do a bit of a direct head-to-head. Other than color for first attempt here, which is not great, I think there is signs of life in this one. That's it for today, though. I'm James from Smokin' Dad Barbecue signing off, and remember, don't be afraid to fire it up.